This capacitor here is the 10 UV 25 volt capacitor, and it goes on C1 on the board. Here is the capacitor on the board. The longer leg, this one here, goes on the positive side. These two capacitors are the 100 UF 16 volt capacitors. They go on C2 and C3. Here are the capacitors on the board. Here are the 470 UV 16 volt capacitors. They go on C4 and C5. Here are the capacitors on the board. As you can see, they go in C4 and C5. Next up, we've got the 100 NF ceramic capacitors. These are the little blue ones here. And they go in C6 and C7. Here are the ceramic capacitors on the board. It doesn't matter which way you put them in, they just need to go in C6 and C7. Now it's the diode. This goes in D1. D1 just there, and the little stripe on the left. That has to match the stripe, the grey one, on the diode. So make sure when you put the diode in that the grey stripe is on the left. And there's the diode in, look. The little grey stripe is on the left. Next up is the little green LED. That goes in D3. Here is the LED in the board. On D3. The longer leg should be at the edge of the board where the plus sign is. Next up, we've got the IC chip, and that goes in IC1. Here is the IC on the board. See the little curve at the top? That goes at the top of the board. There should be one on your circuit board, a little curve at the top. Next up, we've got the PCB mount 3.5mm stereo connector, and that goes in J1. Here is the headphone jack, and it goes in J1 just there. It's just a simple process of pushing the pins through the holes and soldering into place. For a guide on how to solder, please see my previous video, Rapid LED Christmas Tree Kit. Next up, we've got the terminal blocks. They go in J2 to J4. Here are the terminal blocks in place. The clips should be facing outwards. Next up, we've got the brown, black, red resistor, and that goes in R1. Next up, we've got the yellow-violet resistors, and they go in R2 to R3. Now we've got the brown, black, yellow resistors, and they go in R4 to R5. Then it's the brown, black, orange resistors, and they go in R6 to R7. When placing the resistors into the board, it's just a simple process of bending them into shape, finding them on the board, pushing them in, and soldering them to the board. Up next is the miniature slide switch, and that goes in SW1. Here is the switch in the board. Once you have finished the kit, it should look something like this, except the battery pack and the two speakers will not be connected. First, put the battery on the end of the pack, then feed the battery pack into the terminal block and push it through the hooks. Do the same with the speaker wire, cut it to your required length, plier off each end to get the copper braid, push it through each terminal block, push it into each speaker, solder it into the speaker, and hooray, you're done.